Good morning, everybody. I'm Count Drahoon. Joined with me, my fearless leader for sure. This is the Mid-Morning Howl, where the only thing scarier than the news that you missed this morning is the pending traffic that you are already on, or about to go on, or have survived. So what are we doing here this morning? I do have to point out, my friend Patrick. This is oh no, I'm being attacked. This radio station kitten just won't stop. Ah, well, just so you know, there's all kinds of mayhem that you're about to see here on the Mid-Morning Howl. But before we get started, I just wanted to point out, if I may, yes, it is very unusual for a vampire to be up this late, Mr. Patrick Farmer.
Yeah, and this is this is something new we're gonna be trying out every Monday. We'll probably try to start it a little bit earlier in the mornings, maybe around 11 Eastern, maybe sometimes 10:30 Eastern. We'll just see what kind of flow we can get into. But this is hopefully a new weekly live stream we'll be doing to kick off your week every single week. Break down rundowns of what happens on Kings of Horror, stuff you missed over the weekend, previews of what's upcoming on Kings of Horror this upcoming week, later in the month, as well as diving into some mainstream horror news and indie horror news.
As if you didn't have enough talking heads to fill your radio waves or screens in the morning, you have extra. I was going to say two extra. It's so late at night or late in the morning, however you want to splice it. I don't even know if I'm speaking proper English. Let's get right into it, shall we?
All right, and to kick off our recap this past weekend here at Kings of Horror, it is the weekend bloodbath. Again, where we go over things you might have missed here on Kings of Horror. First off, to go over some more recent releases from our good partners at Terror Films, we have Black Goat, and this film premiered, I believe, 2 weeks ago. We'll have links in the descriptions after this episode premieres. It is about the Black Goat in the mysterious town of Blackwood Falls. A young environmental engineer uncovers horrifying secrets involving cult sacrifices and a demonic entity known as the Black Goat of the Woods. Again, this one premiered 2 weeks ago here on Kings of Horror. And then a more recent premiere here on Kings of Horror from Terror Films was Demon, or Demo_N, however you want to pronounce it.
An online reunion between friends spirals into supernatural chaos when a cursed video game, Demo, is opened and something sinister enters the chat.
And again, that one premiered this past Friday on Kings of Horror. We'll be telling more about Terror Films here in a little bit. But yeah, both those films were solid. This last one, definitely go check it out. It's a cool found footage style film. And then the other Friday night thing you may have missed was a brand new episode of Rhonda Shear's Up All Night. This one was dubbed Rhonda Mania, as it had special guest Jenny Bassoni, I believe, Bassone from Below Wrestling, and Nick Namath as well. They entered competition amongst each other in various in a variety of unconventional competitions within an actual ring on set, and they also showed the Van Damme 90s classic Lionheart. Again, that also premiered here on Kings of Horror this past Friday, and we'll also put links in the description as well for that. Were you able to check that one out, Friday Night Count?
So I wasn't able to check it out live when it debuted because I was doing a live show with my friend
That's right.
Stuff while streaming. But I've gone back and I've started watching it. So I think I'm at least through the first act of the movie. It's when he gets to the U.S. and
Mhm.
he discovers the underground fighting scene. Like
Yeah.
it's literally under a bridge overpass, and they dub him the Lion, and he just totally like kicks this guy's butt. Who's like 3 times his size. Um, I'm having fun watching it. It's very entertaining. Yeah, it's funny. I met Nick Nemeth in Nashville. He was here in
Oh,
town. Yeah, they were doing some sort of stand-up comedy thing over at Zany's, and it was like a promotional thing to get more people to come out to the TNA event that
mm,
was happening that weekend. So it was him. It was actually a pretty star-studded event. It was him, his brother, Tommy Dreamer,
mm.
Candice Michelle was there, Mickey James was there, and Santino Morella was there. I don't think I'm
Nice.
forgetting anybody. But yeah, it was a pretty it was a neat event. I had a lot of fun. So at some point I'm gonna make my way to I'm gonna finish this. I'm having a good time
That's good.
watching Ronda
Yeah.
Mania. I will say though, and I'm only saying this because Rhonda actually brought it up in the intro for the movie. I think the title AWOL fits a lot better than Lionheart, but that's just me.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that definitely
It makes
being
more
the case.
sense.
Yeah. And yeah, again, new episodes of Up All Night premiere here on Kings of Horror Fridays. Every other Friday at 10 p.m. Eastern. The next one will be not this Friday, but the next. So I think it's Friday the 13th. And it will actually be a retro episode.
Nice. Okay.
We'll be restoring some old Up All Night footage from the 90s, inserting it into Vice Academy. And so that's coming in 2 weeks, or a week from this Friday, rather. Again, going back to our weekend bloodbath recap, another item here on Kings of Horror you might have missed was our Saturday night Scream 7 live stream discussion breakdown where um, we had Joel Savage of the Sick World of Doctor Show. He moderated a panel of 3 industry writers and podcasters to discuss spoiler and non-spoiler sections for Scream 7. The weekend has passed, so if you have not checked out Scream 7, or if you have rather, and you want to listen to about an hour-long, really good in-depth breakdown, lots of differing opinions on it, check it out. And yeah, that was our Scream 7 breakdown. And last night on Kings of Horror, me and Shelby did a live stream where we did a selection show breakdown of our new thing we're doing this month on Kings of Horror called March Mayhem. It's your typical March Madness inspired bracket, but in place of basketball on teams, it's horror movies, specifically from the Terror Films catalog. Again, we are huge supporters of Terror Films, and we figured this would be a fun way to get more eyes on some films that you may have missed from the very beginning or with as recent releases as last year. Each region or subgenre, you can see it's broken down by color coordinating. You see the dates, psychological, supernatural, anthology, and slasher regions. The first matchup dropped today. It is The House on Pine Street versus Trip. And again, we will post links in the description. We have a dedicated playlist that we'll be adding all the films to that you can rewatch, and we highly recommend rewatching both. If you've never seen them before, watch them for the first time. If you have, check it out, rewatch it. It might have been a couple of years since you've seen some of these, especially these two. And again, 48 hours to vote. You vote in our YouTube community, our KOH community here on YouTube, youtube.com/Kings of Horror/community. We're posting links all over social media as well to make it as easy as possible. So yeah, please rewatch before you vote. And you can also print off your own bracket, fill it out. We want to see what you think is going to win. Links to that are also all over socials. And yeah, so that's kind of everything that you might have missed this past weekend on Kings of Horror.
This is a March Madness bracket worth
Mhm.
investing your time in, I must say. But I'm saying that as somebody that literally knows nothing about basketball. But I do know at least a thing or two about terror films, and I've seen quite a few of those on the bracket. So big fan of 1031,
Mhm.
uh, uh, Taking of Deborah Logan, of course, and Meat Hook is actually really good too. I've
Oh yeah,
actually it hasn't been released yet. I guess I could talk
yeah.
out of turn, tell tales out of school. I interviewed the director of Meat Hook. He's a really great guy, by the way, and his movie is like you said, he's on the channel. It's a really great action slasher flick. So I'm glad to see that's on the bracket.
And if you want to chat along with us, you have hot takes on things we talk about or not, join us. Use hashtag Mid-Morning Howl on socials, on X, Facebook, Instagram, whatever. And
Drop
yeah,
those takes like it's hot. As our beloved philosopher Snoop Dogg once said in a song.
I have my bracket filled out.
Wow, you printed yours off?
Oh yeah, printing my off. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Wow. Look at this guy over here, fancy. He has his own printer. I have to go to FedEx.
I would invest in a printer. Printers are amazing to have. I like working on actual physical paper, but
Yeah, it's actually a pretty good investment if you think about it. Because I'm tired of going into FedEx at night and people staring at me, just like, what is it? I just try to scan a document for taxes. Leave me alone.
And yeah, so that was kind of what you missed this past weekend on Kings of Horror. Moving to what's coming this week. Again, as always, we'll have our Friday Night Horror Trivia hosted by Shelby and Uncle Pete. Followed by a double feature on Friday and a double feature on Saturday. That's the baseline here on Kings of Horror. But starting this Thursday, I believe we'll have, is it an interview every other week?
It's
Every other week starting. So the Count himself will be providing some exclusive interviews to the channel starting this Friday. No, not this Friday. Nope, that's wrong. This Thursday.
Mhm.
And it is with the one and only Frank Dietz.
Frank
You want
Dietz.
to talk a little bit about that interview and a little bit of background on him?
Yeah, so Frank Dietz, he's an actor and a screenwriter in his own right. If you're a big '80s horror fan, you may have seen him in the film Black Roses. He was also in Zombie Nightmares with Adam West back in the day. He's done a lot in the film industry, frankly. I mean, in addition to being an actor, he was also an animator for Disney, or illustrator for Disney for quite some time, for a number of years. He's a screenwriter, and that's his big. I don't want to say his big job, but I mean that is more so what he's known for nowadays. But he's also got a YouTube channel that he likes to talk about, monster movies, movies he watched growing up as a kid. He also kind of does movie reviews as well. So he's a fascinating man to talk to. He's an excellent storyteller. And he and I had a really great conversation, just, going through his career, going through what he's up to nowadays. We even had a little conversation about Bob Burns, who unfortunately we lost several weeks ago. But we had a great conversation because he actually used to live fairly close to Bob Burns, and he kept in touch with them until he passed away. So we talked about that. And there's also a pretty big portion of the interview that's going to be available for our patrons for Kings of Horror. So be sure to sign up for that because Frank actually gives a lot of insight on what to do and what not to do for being a successful screenwriter. So
Didn't he also write a couple of episodes, or at least one of the Shudder Creepshow series?
Yes, I believe he did.
Wrote maybe one episode.
I think we talked about that. Yeah,
Yeah.
we talked. I seem to remember he either wrote it or he was in it. It was one of the two.
Yeah. And again, our Patreon and here on YouTube, you can hit join and you can become a YouTube member of the channel. We have, we do trivia every week, so we give an exclusive answer every week. We do exclusive contents, commentary tracks that you guys get to vote on. I'll be posting February's commentary track today for the title you guys voted on, and that was Poison Ivy, that the Count also joined me and Shelby on.
Yeah,
and then
you're welcome.
we'll be getting the poll out for March's watch party, exclusive watch party for Patreon and YouTube members, and a lot more content to come. We'll be dropping probably at least 3 new restored episodes of Up All Night on there this week as well. We're a little bit behind on that, so we're gonna make up and drop a bunch this week. And yeah, the other big announcement is we have a new series joining the lineup. Saturday nights before the double features and the Saturday night main content, we have a new anthology series joining the channel, and it is Vault 13. And Vault 13 is it's an anthology. If we can find my notes. Yeah, so Vault 13, a chilling anthology horror series created by Rasha Robinson. Each episode unlocks 3 terrifying mini tales hidden deep within a cursed vault, from psychological dread to supernatural encounters. And now we will play the trailer KOH premiere of Vault 13. All right, and that is the trailer for Vault 13. Again, that premieres this Saturday, March 5th, I believe is the date. Saturday, March 5th. And we'll be posting that trailer individually later on and drop, premiere link or link to the premiere, series premiere. Always love supporting independent artists and creators. This is one of those opportunities in a fun, unique way. You don't get too many indie horror anthology series.
No.
So
I think I was on a show last night talking about that because they asked me what my favorite Romero film was, and I said it was Creepshow because I'm a huge fan of horror anthology. I feel like we just don't get enough of it.
yeah.
And I feel like the demand's there. Or am I just crazy?
Well, because no, I think it's good because honestly, anthologies are kind of like, and always have kind of been like short story, short films,
Yeah.
essentially. Some like the Twilight Zone. I guess that there is a wraparound with Rod Serling at the beginning and end, but Tales from the Dark Side, Tales from the Crypt, those kind of one-off monsters, one-off, you can just, it'll escape, or, even like Beyond Belief Factor Fiction, that was technically an anthology.
Oh my gosh, man, after my own heart. Nobody ever talks about Beyond Belief. I found, it's on Tubi.
Yeah, it's also, I know on Sling, I have Sling, and they have a dedicated channel that just runs them constantly.
I love that show. I love it so much. I obviously I prefer the Jonathan Frakes hosted episodes, but the James Brolin ones are still pretty good.
Oh yeah, and that was I think he just did the first season. Then it was Jonathan Frakes the rest of the way. But yeah, so that's Vault 13 hitting KOH this Saturday night. Now, going into some indie horror news, we have a special sponsor, Marketing Macabre. Michael Joy's of Marketing Macabre. If you are an indie website creator, if you own a business, if you sell or create horror-inspired merch, reach out to Michael Joy at Marketing Macabre. He has different tiers to get your product, to get your story, to get your venture out to numerous publications, including here on Kings of Horror. All of these stories were provided by Marketing Macabre. So let's get to it with. I'll let you take this one since you have some Troma love in your heart.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, I don't want to derail this, but I had a Troma themed show this past Friday night. So very apt.
What was that about? What was that Troma themed show about?
We did the best and worst Troma films. Our special guest was Ben Johnson. He directed a feature film called The Curse of the Were-Deer. It's a Troma production. Yeah, so we had him on because he actually lives fairly close to us. So he came down for that. We had a grand old time. But yeah, let's see here.
What was your favorite what was your favorite Troma film?
My personal favorite is Troma's War.
Ooh, nice. That's a good one.
That's always been my personal favorite. I think we decided though that the Toxic Avenger, the whole series, is it probably is undoubtedly the best. And honestly, like it was harder for us to narrow down what the best actually was. And normally I like to do like 5 good ones and 5 bad ones. This time we did 6 good ones because we did 3 Lloyd Kaufman directed films and 3 that were not directed by Lloyd Kaufman.
I mean, there's lots of good contender. I mean, obviously, Toxic Avengers up there, Class of Nukem High,
right? Sergeant Kabuki Man, which is another favorite of mine. I love that one. I'd say that's probably my second favorite besides Troma's War. Yeah. I mean, I love Toxic Avenger, of course, but I feel like I don't like just. Maybe I'm a little bit of a contrarian. I just don't like giving like that. Like it feels like I'm just giving you a stock answer. But like with Troma's War, like there's a lot of thought and behind like why I love that movie so much. And Sergeant Kabuki, man, I just think that's.
What was your least favorite one? What's one that you or was deemed either by yourself or as a collective?
I doubt you've ever heard of it. It's a movie. It was one of Lloyd's first movies. It's called Big Gus, What's the Fuss?
Was that one of his like comedies? One of the comedies or one of the sex comedies?
If you can call it a comedy.
What was it called again?
Big Gus, What's the Fuss? There's like filmed by 3 titles, but that's
1973 Israel comedy film.
Yes. So basically, Lloyd and Michael Hertz were approached by an Israeli production company back in the 70s that if they made a feature-length movie, it would be on Israeli television. It would open wide release in theaters in Israel, and it was going to be a big hit. And so they did it thinking that they were going to co-direct a film with an Israeli filmmaker. And it turns out that Lloyd and Michael were more or less kind of pushed aside creatively, and they made a lot of artistic compromises. So it was mostly like the Israeli guy's show, and so they made the movie. And right when the movie is about to premiere, the Yom Kippur War happens, or the 7-Day War, which one of the big ones that happened in the 70s. And so the film never got a wide release. So it was basically just buried. But Lloyd hates talking about the movie because apparently it was just that bad. And from what I've seen, which that movie is very difficult to find, it's not good. And I don't even know if you can consider it a Troma movie. There's nothing.
Yeah, I mean it was distributed, but
Troma-esque at all.
Yeah, and plus that's before they kind of got into their groove with what Troma's most identified with now, and stuff. But Yeah, Big Dig Rock. Again, guys, feel free to join the conversation. Oh, that's not what I was expecting it to look like. There's the
We just
chat.
can't read them.
Right, yeah. But Big Dig Rock. The next Up All Night. Make sure you have the bell notification enabled. When you subscribe, you should go to get notifications for all. But yeah, it's every other Friday, so it'll be March 13th, March 27th, and every 2 weeks, hopefully following that. Again, follow us on all of our socials. If you're on social media, we're probably on whatever platform. We post news almost daily as far as what's coming up on Kings of Horror, so you don't miss anything. But yeah, let us know in the comments what's your favorite and least favorite Troma film. What's the film you can't watch enough, and one that you haven't even seen because you refuse to because this, that, and the other. But anyways, going back to indie news provided by Marky and Macabre. Count, I'll let you take this one.
All right, so this is Human Hibachi 3, The Last Supper, Mario Cerrito's final cannibalistic chapter, starring Debbie Rochon, and Lloyd Kaufman, is available now on Found TV and Troma Now. The film recently won the Grand Grotesque Best of the Fest at the Dark Side, New Jersey Film Festival. Okay, Debbie's in it. That's great.
And then we also have Dislocated. Ash Hamilton's new horror audio drama podcast explores the terror of being trapped in the wrong place at the wrong time. You can listen to this new horror audio drama podcast exclusively on Horror Fix. There's no bad Troma. That's what Callie says. There's no bad Troma.
Well, look, I would have agreed with that until I watched Big Gus, What's the Fuss, and Lloyd Kaufman himself would agree with me. He has said as much. Bad
Voodoo, yes.
Produced by Redemption Motion Pictures and distributed by Despop Entertainment, now on VOD. What begins as a desperate escape becomes a supernatural nightmare when two escaped convicts take the wrong hostage. I've had that happen to me before.
Then we have Kate Crime, Tales of the Occult, arriving on Tubi March 8th from Cinema Epoch. A true crime YouTuber infiltrates a reclusive witch coven and discovers belief itself may be deadly. Again, that's Kate Crime, Tales of the Occult, arriving on Tubi March 8th from Cinema Epic. And rounding off the indie horror news for this week, we have Dead Afterlife.
A new Kickstarter campaign from horror marketing veteran Michael Joy. Ever wondered what it's like to wake up at your own funeral? This one explores exactly that.
And again, Michael Joy is also the owner of Marky and Macabre. And we thank him for providing us with some indie horror news, and we are excited to explore and develop this segment with him in the future. And let us know, do you want to see more trailers? Do you want to see more clips from some of the past things that were shown on KOH, or stuff that's upcoming? Do you like the static images? Let us know what you want to see, and let us know if there are any type of segments you want us to do or see here on the Mid-Morning Howl. Again, this is a show basically for you to, hopefully become part of your weekly routine. Every Monday, start of the week, you can tune in, look forward to this live stream, hopefully interactive live stream that we can continue to develop, and would love your input. So drop comments in the drop your comments for what type of stuff you want to see on the channel, on this live stream rather. So my favorite is Nuke 'Em High. I haven't seen a bad Troma film yet.
We really kicked the hornet's nest with that one.
maybe that should be an entire live stream.
Now, look, I will say, Cali Star, I think that's fair. Yeah, Big Gus, What's the Fuss? It probably doesn't actually count as like a Troma film in the sense of like Toxic Avenger,
Mm.
because I mean, I guess it barely qualifies only because like Lloyd and Michael Hertz were involved with it. So, and I do know that it is available. It's available on Troma now. So it's like one of the only places you can actually watch this movie. I personally don't recommend it, but if you're morbidly curious, it's on there to check out. But yeah, no, but I think you are right. I mean, there's not really there's no such thing as a bad Troma film, but some are better than others, I would say.
Now, here's a question. I'm actually going to post this in the chat just because I'm curious as to what people think. Or post this poll in the chat. Oh my goodness. There might be a little bit of a delay because I'm typing it.
That's okay. Better you than me because I. Right, that's what I'm saying. They claim, and they probably shouldn't even claimed it. They should have pretended like it didn't even exist, and no, we wouldn't even be having this conversation right now.
But I just posted a poll in the chat. Which favorite company between Troma and Full Moon Features?
Oh, that's definitely gonna. Yeah, I thought that's a hornet's nest for sure.
Yeah.
That's a hard one because, like, I enjoy Troma's. I enjoy the sense of humor, because I feel like, and I've said this to Lloyd before. It's like the Troma films are not bad. They're in bad taste, and they're purposely made that way. And I genuinely appreciate that. Now, but with Full Moon, it's like they have so many great films of them. I mean, because you have the Puppet Master franchise, but then you have
Subspecies.
Yeah, you have Subspecies. I mean, and even some of like the Stuart Gordon Lovecraft movies.
Castle Freak's amazing.
Castle Freak is an amazing film. And I know that, if I'm not mistaken, that kind of barely counts as a Full Moon because it's Charles Band, but I think that was before he. Maybe I'm not remembering that correctly. I
want to say it came out in the 90s, so I feel like that would have been
it
right.
Did. It was 1990 or 1991, one of those two.
The film was shot during a period when Full Moon Features was having financial issues and was released to little press on home video. So it was distributed by Full Moon Entertainment.
Okay, so it was. Okay.
95.
Yeah, I love Castle Freak. I think that that may be my favorite
Full Moon film.
It might be. It might be.
Charlie, I love all things Kaufman, but Charles Band is my if you could only have one.
I understand that. I feel that. I've interviewed Lloyd quite a few times in the past. He's a good guest to have. It's always a bit chaotic though, but in a good way.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't, I've never met Charles Band before, so maybe someday we'll have to work for that.
Yeah, I met him at Scarefest in Lexington in 2024.
Okay.
He was a guest there. I was able to get a picture and get him to sign one of the. So years ago, I met Shatner at a con and got him to sign my Full Moon Fright Night DVD. It's when they when he with him hosting Vampire Journal, the spinoff of Subspecies. So Shatner signed it, and then I got Band to sign it, so that was cool. Yeah, he was nice. I mean, the interaction wasn't long at all, obviously, but it was still cool to cross him off the list because I'm a huge Full Moon fan. Might like it a little bit more than Troma, but
see, I've heard that. you're not the first person I've met who said that. So,
But again, that's my own taste, my own
well, okay, but here's the
preference.
thing.
So.
I feel like Full Moon, in a way, you can't really compare the two because I feel like Full Moon has very high quality horror and some not so high quality, but they have a
Mhm.
huge film catalog, so obviously you're gonna have some duds. Troma is something very specific
Yeah.
because Troma like because like Troma in a lot of ways was kind of ahead of its time because it blended so many different genres all at once. Because you have a comedy aspect, there's a social commentary aspect in most of the Troma
Hmm.
films. There's horror for sure. There's science fiction. There's a
There's
lot going
outlandish
on.
gore.
Yeah, there's a lot going on all at once, and I
Mhm.
think with Full Moon, it's a little bit more. I guess you could say it's a little bit more straightforward, although that's probably not the best adjective I can come up with. But but yeah, like Troma is kind of a different. It's kind of a world in of its own. It really is. It's all
Yeah.
interconnected in some way. Um, and then with Full Moon, it's a little bit more. You kind of know what you're getting. Like you're getting a horror movie more or less.
Yeah.
Or in the case of Subspecies, horror sci-fi. But with Troma, you're getting everything.
And yeah, so with that, I think that wraps up this inaugural edition of the Mid-Morning Howl here on Kings of Horror. Again, every Monday, we'll figure out a time and try to stick with it sooner than later. But we'll make some posts about it. We'll announce it during Friday trivia exactly what time it will be happening on Monday. But yeah, so we'll post links in the description for things you may have missed, for things that are upcoming. And again, do not forget to vote on our Terror Films March or the March Mayhem Terror Films edition. The brackets are live today. Again, one matchup at a time. Today's matchup is The House on Pine Street versus Trip. Watch the film before you vote. Voting lasts only 48 hours. So Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern is when this matchup ends. A winner will be declared, and then the next matchup will begin. So look forward to that. And again, drop comments in the live chat, drop comments on the video itself, share it, let us know what you want to see. If you have an idea for a cool segment, let us know. And yeah, so I think that's about it. Is there anything else you want to relay to the people, Count?
Only one more thing. I forgot to mention it earlier when we were talking about my interview with Frank Dietz.
Mm-hmm.
So the name of his YouTube channel, actually, let me pull that up. I believe it's the same title as his book.
Mm-hmm.
It is, I believe it's called This Monstrous Life, but I want to double check on that.
I want to say that's right. I feel like I've
Yes, it is. This Monstrous Life is Frank Dietz's YouTube channel. So if you have a chance, go on there and check it out. Yeah, he covers a lot of different movies. It's mostly retro movies, like things that he grew up on, that he watched. But of course, he has a great insight on all these movies because he is a screenwriter.
Mm-hmm.
He's able to kind of walk you through what works, what doesn't work. And every now and then you'll get a post about a movie, a more recent movie that he's watched that he'll recommend or talk about. I was actually very excited because he just posted about a movie that I really liked in theaters that just came out called Cold Storage.
Oh yeah, was
I
Joe
don't know.
Keery?
Yeah, Joe Keery's
I
in
haven't
it.
seen it. I want to
George,
though.
Georgiana Campbell, if I'm saying her name correctly. I apologize if I'm butchering that. It's the
Who-
accent.
Liam
And
Neeson's in it, right?
Liam Neeson's in it
Yeah.
too. It's really like if you love Night of the Creeps,
Mm.
if you love the Andromeda Strain from the late
Okay.
70s, you'll really like this movie a lot. And of course, if you love Return of the Living Dead,
I bet.
this movie's a lot of fun.
Did you see it in theaters or is it streaming on anything?
I saw it in theaters.
Yeah.
David Koepp wrote and produced it, so that's kind of why I threw in the Andromeda Strain in there because it kind of feels like something Michael Crichton would have written.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Koepp and Crichton worked together on the script for Jurassic Park, but it's a lot of fun. It's a really good movie. Right now, it is tied for first place for me as my favorite movie of 2026. That and Good Luck, Have Fun, and Don't Die.
Oh yeah.
That's another good one.
I got to get out and see more movies. I've been horrible at seeing new stuff this year, so I need and last year. So, new goal is to see one new film a month, hopefully. But yeah, so again, thanks for tuning in. Let us know your feedback, thoughts, what you want to see on this. Yeah, and we will catch you guys next Monday for the next installment of the Mid-Morning Howl.